I'm horrified that every single day women and children are being placed in situations where they are suffering physical abuse, certainly, but mental abuse and emotional abuse, sexual abuse, that all adds up to domestic violence even before we get to a homicide.
It's a lying piece of shit.
In the file, but there you go. So we're ready to proceed with sentencing assault in the fourth degree?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
If Your Honor will recall, as I said, we had done a pre-plea. Originally, this was charged as a ballot measure 11 crime, and the state is always very reticent to have indicted on a ballot measure 11 crime and then to allow a plea to something lesser. However, this is, I think, an extenuated circumstance, not only in the result that we're going to get to, but also in the facts. Originally, the only statement that the defendant gave was that the victim was, quote-unquote, trying to rape her. There have been extensive plea negotiations between the parties. I think Mr. Griffell and I have had a number of conversations. We've met with Your Honor. The bottom line is that the defendant caused these injuries, and I think the defendant would, if we were to go to trial, claim a self-defense type of argument. And even given that, taking all of those facts in light most favorable, I think Mr. Griffell and I have had conversations about the reasonable use of force, and that perhaps the state could overcome that argument if need be because of the injuries sustained by the victim and the lack of injuries sustained by the defendant at all. So given all of that, Your Honor, this is the result that we have come to. The defendant doesn't have any prior criminal history, and that clearly was another one of the circumstances that we took into consideration when fashioning this resolution. Again, I know that there's custody issues, and I think that we had taken that into consideration, and that's why we had said no personal contact, so that child custody could be facilitated by a mutually agreed upon third party. Your Honor, the state is recommending 30 days in the Yamhill County Correctional Facility. The agreement was that parties could argue about the time in jail, with the ceiling being 30 days. Looking at the injuries, Your Honor, I think that 30 days is an appropriate sanction. The defendant needs to understand that even given a situation...
I'm going to require that you pay a $107 unitary assessment plus a $500 Chapter 163 assessment, and you can meet with the folks in room 135 right down below where we are to make arrangements to pay that. If you pay it all at once, that'll be to your advantage, or if you pay it within 30 days, that'll also be...
The only statement that the defendant gave was that the victim was, quote-unquote, trying to rape her.
This is the final determination of this case, which means it's subject to appeal if you choose to do so. There's not a lot you can appeal when you plead guilty, but more information is available on the back of your plea petition, a copy of which I know was previously provided to you.